Hey guys, are you guys ready to start decorating for Christmas? Because I know I sure am. Because who doesn't love Christmas magic, and magic comes from decorating, am I right? So today I am going to walk you through this awesome and amazing felt ornament set. So you can totally start your decorating and get that Christmas spirit started in your home. And at the end, I'll let you know how to find all of the materials and supplies that you need to make these super adorable ornaments at home. But enough about that, let's start crafting. I mean, obviously you want to know what you're making, right? So I stumbled on these little ornaments and I thought they were the cutest little thing and they were so fun to make, and I really just liked the delicate small touch that it adds to my tree, and I can't wait to start decorating my tree this year, especially in all the fun different colors that these ornaments allow you to do. So let's go to the first step. All right, things you're gonna need today. So you're gonna need all the felt. You're gonna need some stencils for cutting these out, and also the embroidery patterns that go on top. You're gonna need some scissors. You're gonna need a little bit of hot glue, some twine to hang your ornaments, and a fabric pen that's removable by heat, or really any removable fabric pen that you have. You need your embroidery floss and embroidery needle. All right, first thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a heat safe surface, which I just use a piece of felt because let's be real, I have tons of felt and it makes a perfect little heat pad so that I can use my iron on. So this is a freezer paper stencil, and all I'm doing is I cut one ornament out just to show you here. So I'm gonna lay this down on my piece of felt, grab my iron that's been heating up here, and it is on the high cotton setting, and this is gonna be the shiny side down. We're gonna go ahead and just place that down and go ahead and iron this right on the felt. I absolutely love using freezer paper for my stencils because they stick on really, really easily when you melt that wax, and then they peel off super, super easy as well. And the thing I love the most about it is that you literally have this nice, clean black guide to cut this out perfectly every single time. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and use my big shears for this because this one happens to be a circle, and this will give me nice, long, smooth cuts all the way around. But this is so great with these stencils because I can literally just follow this line so perfectly. And the thing I love about working with felt so much is that felt is so forgiving. Felt is all fibers and they're all kind of loosely around, so it's like when you're cutting it, you can just have a nice clean cut, and then if you have some errors along the way, you really can't tell it in your final piece. Whereas like fabric and paper, you definitely see every single miscut. I'm gonna make this look easy, but look at that. So you just pull the stencil right off and then you have a circle and a stencil. So, and with nothing that's left behind. Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your fabric pen, and this one erases by heat, which is like super, super handy. So I'm gonna use this stencil to kind of just draw this on here. So obviously when you're doing it, just get it as close as you can, and then also know that like when you're making your ornaments, you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But I really, really like the patterns that I picked, and that's just kind of what I have on this tutorial. And so it's just super, super fun. So I'm just making different shapes on here that I'm gonna go ahead and stitch on with my embroidery floss. Just gonna throw some polka dots on here. These ones I'm actually doing a little bit more random. Okay, perfect. So now we're gonna go ahead and get into the embroidery part of this. And with our YouTube-y magic here, I'm gonna go ahead and grab one that I've already started. For each ornament, you need a front and a back. So yes, when you're cutting out your stencils, you need a front and a back of your shapes. I guess I should have said that earlier. Okay, so when you have your stencils and you're putting this onto your felt, you're gonna have a front and a back for each pattern. So the back's gonna be blank, and then your front is gonna have the embroidery pattern on it. So be sure to cut out each one and then apply them to each different color of felt that you're using. At the end, you should have one top piece and one bottom piece because we're gonna sew these together and stuff them a little bit with some batting, and that way they're nice and puffy little pillows for you on your Christmas tree. All right, so this is a needle and thread that I've already threaded here. And what I'm gonna do today is, since this is not really an embroidery tutorial, I am going to link all of the videos of all the different stitches that I'm doing today in the description below. So if you need help on these specific stitches, go watch those videos, and then that way you can get an idea of how to do them and then come back to this project. This is the Lazy Daisy stitch, and it is definitely one of my favorites, and I feel like everybody should have this one in their arsenal. So because we're not sewing and embroidering on a hoop, you do have to be a little bit more careful with how you're holding things. It's a little bit more of a challenge, but it doesn't mean you still can't do it. So you just have to hold a lot more tension with your hands. So I'm gonna just go ahead and keep doing this all the way around. And then in a minute, we're gonna do some more YouTube magic, because you don't wanna watch me stitch all of these. Or maybe I will do a different video where you are. I don't know, we'll see. Alrighty, so we're just gonna keep going on this one and finish the whole Lazy Daisy pattern. And then I did French knots on the little polka dots. And again, all of these videos are gonna be linked in the description on how to do these exact stitches. That way it's not making this video like 8 billion hours long either. All right, last stitch. And this guy is done. So this is the pattern on this one, and then let's go into the other ones. All right, so we've got these other 4 patterns. So we're gonna take some more of our embroidery thread. And for every one of these, I am doing 3 strands of embroidery thread. So your embroidery floss will come 6 strands. So when you're doing it, you never really want to use 6 strands unless you want like a really, really thick design on your embroidery. So I like to stay at about 3 to 4 strands, depending on the design. And how you take them apart is super, super easy. You just grab 3 of your strands on each side. And then what I like to do is I like to hold it so the bottom's not touching anything, and then just separate it and then let them free spin. And then you have a good separation. If that bottom part is like sitting on a table and it's snagging on anything, it'll get real tangled up real fast. So as long as they're able to free spin, it works great. So I'll put that one aside, and then we're gonna do our next stitch. So I love my little needle threaders. These save me so much time on trying to thread my needles, because I don't have time to sit there and go over and over and over and over again on how to get my thread into my needles. Of course, this one is tangling. There it goes. So again, later on, I'm going to tell you how to get all the supplies and materials, but one of the things is that all of this cool stuff will be included in a super top secret kit that I will talk about later. All right, so I just threw a little knot in my end. I've got my thread threaded. Everything's nice and flat. So on this one, we're gonna go ahead and on the polka dots, do a little French knot stitch. So for this one, for sure, you're gonna wanna go check out that video if you don't know how to do a French knot. I'm doing 3 turns around my needle for this one, and then going back in. This can be a little tricky to do without a hoop, but it's possible. So we're gonna do little French knots on all of these. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you just hold it tight. Oops, I let go. See, and this is where it gets a little tricky when you're using, when you're not using a hoop. Pull this through, my little guy, and then you get tangled. There we go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and YouTube magic this one. What? It's done already? How'd she do that so fast? She's so great. Just kidding. I'm gonna go ahead and snip this off and put it around. Next one, we'll do the little star stitch. All right, another little trick on how to tie your knots at the end is instead of trying to like line it up and tie a bunch of little knots on top of each other to make a thick enough knot, my mom taught me this from her days of embroidering, is that you wrap it around your finger once or twice, depending on how big of a knot you need. I usually do one, and then you just sit here and roll it. So that's creating a lot of different rolls right here. You can see that. And then you just pull it down tight and you have a nice little knot right there. So that is like the fastest way that I've ever made a knot. Just wrap it, roll it, pull it down, and you've got a perfect little knot every single time. All right, so this one we're just doing a little star stitch. If I can get in there. There we go. Just need to turn it the right way. And this is just literally this is like just a regular stitch, but we're just doing it in a star motion. So I'm thinking like little tiny snowflakes on our ornament. And then we're gonna do this, and then I added some little polka dots in this one too, which is again just some little cute little French knots. Oops, I didn't like that right there. Perfect. Sweet little stars. Like so. Super easy. Oh my goodness, do we have some more YouTube magic? Also, it changed colors. What is this craziness? So we're gonna go ahead and put this one aside and move on to the next one. And again, seriously, I have all of the stitches in the description below, so that way you can follow along with everything. So the next one is the stem stitch. And we're just gonna go ahead and go halfway. And this is kind of like a back stitch. It's very similar. So I start my first stitch and I'm going about halfway to what I think I should do. Halfway, sorry. Okay, so on your stem stitch, you're just gonna go halfway through your last stitch. It's a little kind of hard to see, but again, we're gonna have this all in another video for you. But this is kind of making like a squiggle stitch, or I don't even know how to describe this as far as like what it looks like, but it's just like a little squiggle stitch. Let's go ahead and YouTube magic this one again, because that's what we do here. So I'll just show you, maybe you can see a little bit. See how it kind of like rolls all on itself? One of the good ones. So that's when I actually used all 6 threads, so it's significantly thicker. But that's totally up to you on how many threads you want to use. They all make everything look super, super different. For our last stitch, we're gonna do a chain stitch. I'm gonna make my little super awesome, amazing knot here again, and do our little chain. This one actually might be my favorite stitch because I feel like it gives a lot of little character to your embroidery. Just do 2 stitches here so you can actually see the chain. So it's just a little chain. Definitely not focusing very well. I will show you better on this one. So this is the part that I love too, because I think it's oh so magical, is that we're gonna go ahead and erase all of our pin marks. I don't know, I love seeing them just like all magically disappear. So watch this magic, guys. Ready? You can see it really well in this white one, but we're gonna just go ahead and just apply some nice pressure here. It's gone. I think these pens are like the coolest thing in the entire world. I also am amused very, very easily. So I could sit here and probably play with this all day long and like color, erase, color, and erase. Or I'll just keep embroidering things because I think it's fun. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the part where you need your hot glue gun, which is just a tiny, 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 tiny little bit. Okay, so now we're gonna grab all of our thread. This is about a little bit more than 10 inches long, and I'm just gonna fold it in half and go ahead and tie a little knot in it. And this is just so that these cute little ornaments have something to hang on your tree. You could use anything you like. If you wanna do ribbon instead or other things, you totally could use something else, but for these I used twine. So we're gonna go ahead and get the backs of all of our ornaments, and we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of glue down here on one side and just glue this down. So we're gonna go ahead and sew around it to connect them, but we just need to tack this down just a hair so that way, so it doesn't just fall out when you're decorating your tree. And then you're not adding extra stitch marks anywhere either. Like so. All right, let's do the rest. All right, so let's glue these down. Boop. 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 And boop. It's really important that you make the booping noise as you glue as well. It's a key part in the gluing process. Be careful when you're gluing these down. I'm definitely pressing my finger in it to make sure that they're pushed down nicely and getting some glue on my fingers. My fingertips are probably totally immune to all heat at this point from hot gluing so much, but just be careful when you're doing it. All right, perfect. Now we're gonna go ahead and start our blanket stitch, which is gonna go all the way around our ornament and then stuff these bad boys and get them finished up. Okay, on our top pieces that we embroidered already, I'm just gonna go ahead and trim some of these really long threads. That way they don't get a little unruly and they're not flying out the sides. I'm kind of making a mess here. I'm not tacking these down at all. They should be totally fine on the back. But if you wanna tie knots in them, or even sometimes I'll put a little dab of hot glue on them just to like secure those threads down, but honestly, I'm not worried about it. So we're gonna go ahead and line up our ornament here. I don't know, I think I'm gonna kind of turn it a little bit sideways. I'm also doing 3 strands of floss, again, for our blanket stitch. That's gonna hold all of this together. And we're gonna start going around here. First, actually I'm gonna start. The reason I'm starting away from this, because when you're gonna close it at the very end, you want your gap open where you're gonna stuff it. You just want like a nice clean little gap where it's like, you don't wanna do it by the string because it's just gonna get in the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and start a little bit lower down here. We're gonna start on the inside and then do 1 all the way through. And then I'll also have another video on how to do the blanket stitch, just so that we don't have to go through every single step here. But this is a great little stitch to hold in all your cute little stuffing. I've also seen some really fun tricks where people have put spacing on their fingers so they know how far to stitch every single time. Oops, I'm sitting there talking and I'm not doing it correctly. Which, as you can see, you could totally fix it. Pretty easy to fix when you forget to do the little extra loop-de-loop in there. I like doing 3 strands. It's a little bit less bulky. All right, so while I'm stitching this, let's chat about how you can get all the materials and supplies you need to make this on your own at home. So below in the description, there's gonna be a link to my shop. And in my shop, you can find the ornament kit. I know, super fun and crazy, but so you can get a kit and it's gonna come with all the felt you need, the embroidery floss you need. It's gonna come with one of the heat erasable pens. You're gonna get a needle threader. You're gonna get all of the little batting for the inside your ornaments, and everything you need to get started on this, aside from the scissors and hot glue gun. This will save you so much time not having to source all your felt, not having to source everything. You can just get it right in a nice little handy kit. Watch this video and make this alongside with me. This would be so great to gather your friends or your family, your kids, your daughter, just to kind of hang out and get a few of these and just make them together so that you guys can have like such a fun little activity and heirloom, and it's just be so fun to do this with friends. So it's gonna have a few different colorways. I'm sure you noticed with all of my YouTube magic that it's been like, oh, they're red, they're purple, they're pink, like kind of all over the place. So I'm gonna offer 5 different colorways. But with that being said, we also sell just felt sheeps, not sheeps, felt sheets in our shop as well. So if you want to do your own special custom color blend, you can totally snag some whatever color sheets you want and make the perfect ornaments that are going to match your decor. These would also make such great gifts for people. If you just wanted to give someone a handmade gift one year, I think this would be such a fun thing to do. Honestly, I think this year we're probably going to do a lot of handmade gifts, and this is definitely going to be one of the fun things that I'm going to be gifting to some family members, is just like custom made ornaments. I think actually if you really wanted to add on the back of your ornaments, you could stitch in the year. So this is the back, you could just put like 2022, whatever year that you're making this and gifting this. You could put people's names on it. It's so endless what you could do with these just to make a really, really special personalized gift for someone. Because really, people just love, honestly, as far as gifting when I get older, as I'm getting older, it's just like, if I want something, I usually get it for me. And so like gifting things is really difficult now. But it's just so nice when, you know, a handmade gift, I will take that any day. There's so much more specialness that's involved with someone that took the time to make me something. So I know that's probably what we're gonna do this year. I'm gonna get my kids involved and see what we can come up with too. But this ornament is definitely on my list of things to do and for gift giving this year. All right, we're almost all the way around. So comment below on what colorway you would like to do, if you plan on doing handmade gifts this year, or if you're planning on buying things, if you think doing this with friends would be a great idea. Like which friends? Are you gonna do it with your girlfriends, your family, or just do it by yourself? Let me know in the comments. I wanna be friends. And be sure to like and subscribe right now too while you're at it, so that way you can get more notifications for more fun videos. We have a lot of fun Christmas items coming up too. So be sure to do that so that you're notified and can follow along with all of the crafting things we got going on right now. So it's about time to stuff. Also, I'm totally gonna run out of thread and not make it to the end, so I'll just show you how I just kind of keep going and kind of sneak through it and nobody will notice. All right, so let's grab a little bit of our batting. Actually, since I am gonna run out of thread, and I know I'm gonna run out of thread right here, I'm gonna go ahead and knot this up. And we're just gonna tie a quick little knot here. So that way we are, we'll tie this one off. Oh, I'm gonna start again. Let's just do one more little knot here, because I did not estimate enough. I usually try to always grab a little bit more than I need, but I definitely didn't do that this time. I used some scrap pieces that I had, so because I've got this little tail, I'm just gonna sneak this inside right now too. All right, we're gonna grab some stuffing. I could have done that better. I'm being impatient right now for the YouTubes. So if you have nice tricks and tips on tucking that in, feel free to let me know too. So I'm not doing it super thick because I don't want this to be like a hard pillow. I kind of like this idea of like a little soft pillow. So I'm not doing a ton of stuffing, but just enough. Now we kind of close that off and see, like, kind of test it. Okay, that feels good. So we're gonna finish that off. All right, let's get another piece of thread. Isn't it funny when it's like you do it perfect all the time? Not perfect, I shouldn't say that, I'm not perfect. But you do it all the time, and then all of a sudden when you're doing it for people, you're like, oh, everything's going wrong. So we're gonna go ahead and start our stitch again. Oops, not there. See, there I do it again. I'm like, not paying attention on how to start this blanket stitch. Okay, gonna do that, and then start stitching this bad boy back up. Alrighty, almost done, and here I am, almost running out of thread again. Try to plan better on your thread count here. Alright, so I think we're just barely gonna make it. We're gonna go through our original first stitch. See if I can loop that on there. Oh, I did it. Oh my goodness, barely made it, have barely any left. We're gonna tie a quick little knot here. But what I like to do with my end thread here, oops, I'm getting all twisted because it's so short, is I go through again and I hide my thread inside my ornament. So let's go ahead and throw my needle in. We're gonna pop it right out in the middle. Ooh. Don't lose your needle inside, and then pull through. And then just snip it right here. There we go. Pull that back out, and that kind of locks in that last little thread, so you're not having like threads falling out, and it's just kind of hidden right smack in the middle of your project. So that's super handy. So that's what I do for all of my little animal surgeries that you do with all your kiddos that have their stuffed animals that all fall apart and you're doing animal surgery. And then you shove that needle right through the middle and you just hide that tail right in the middle of your project. All right, so now you're gonna go ahead and repeat this on the other 4 of your ornaments. So then when you're all done, you're gonna have these cute little set of ornaments. Look how cute and adorable these ornaments turned out. I can't wait to sit here and decorate my tree this year. And again, link to other videos in the description if you need help on the individual stitch patterns, and also if you want the kit so that you can make this exact set at home. Thank you so much for joining me today, and can't wait to see what you guys do with your kits. Who doesn't love Christmas magic, and magic comes from decorating, am I right? Today, I'm going to walk you through this awesome and amazing felt ornament set. So then when you're all done, you're gonna have these cute little set of ornaments.